Yeah, let's do it.
I call this meeting the Hurst-Euless-Bedford Independent School District to order, that the record show that a quorum of board members is present, that this meeting has been duly called, and that notice of this meeting has been posted in accordance with Texas Open Meeting Act, Texas Government Code, Chapter 551. Good evening to everybody. Tonight we're going to start with the invocation from David Barnett from New Life Assembly of God in Hurst.
Thank you. Would you bow your heads with me? Gracious God, we come before you tonight and ask for your divine guidance for the trustees, leadership, and staff of the Hurst-Euless-Bedford Independent School District as they gather tonight to do business on behalf of our schools. I thank you, Lord, that they are willing to pause in this moment before beginning their work to acknowledge that the matters they discuss, the decisions they make, and the actions they take have eternal consequences for our children and our community. Give them a supernatural measure of grace, compassion, discernment, wisdom, and love as they do this important work on our behalf. God, we realize the challenges they face, institutional, instructional, financial, and social challenges that make their work arduous. Bless them for their willingness to put their hand to the plow for the common good of our community. Bless them in the hard times, the complicated times, and the joyous times. Help us as their constituents to more fully appreciate the necessary work that they do on our behalf and to support and partner with our school district to make our children and our community thrive. I pray this in the name of my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you, David. Next, we will have our Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight, that's going to be led by Annalisa Torres and Julissa Torres from Harrison Lane Elementary. You all just come right up here. We have the American flag on this side and the Texas flag on that side. So we'll follow you. Oh, you can stand right.
Just face the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
All right, thank you. Before you run off, we got some things for you.
All right, while Mr. Romero is handing you these certificates, I'm going to tell you a little bit about these two students. Annalisa, also known as Anna, or is it Anna? Anna is the kind of student everyone notices in the best way. She's respectful to teachers, kind to classmates, and always ready to lend a hand. Whether it's helping a friend understand an assignment, including others at recess, or just bringing a positive attitude to class, she sets the bar high for what it means to be a great role model. Her actions make our school a better place, and her peers look up to her because of the way she treats others with kindness and respect. And Julissa, known as Julie, is a wonderful role model at our school. She shows responsibility by completing her work on time, staying prepared, and making positive choices each day. She is respectful to teachers and kind to classmates and always willing to help when someone needs it. Her actions set a great example for others and make our school a better place to learn and grow.
Thank you. Tonight, the Board of Trustees is meeting in its regularly scheduled monthly meeting to officially act on the items included on the posted agenda. The Board welcomes and values input from the community. A single open forum will be provided during tonight's meeting to allow the public the opportunity to address the Board. During this time, individuals may share comments or requests related to both agenda and non-agenda items. Those addressing the Board are asked to limit their comments to 3 minutes per meeting. The speaker should identify their name, group affiliation, if any, and make a brief presentation with an identified solution if one is sought. Remarks should be addressed to the board as a whole. Oral presentations may not include charges against any employee or board member by name. It is my responsibility to determine if the person addressing the board has attempted to resolve a concern informally or through the district's complaint policies. If not, the speaker will be directed to follow the appropriate policy. The board requests that all presentations be made in a courteous, respectful, and professional manner and asks that speakers monitor their own behavior. If you wish to speak during one of the open forums, please fill out one of the cards located on the table in the entry hall. We are ready to go over our board activity chart. I'll start with Ms. Ewart.
Well, I had the opportunity to go to Trinity this past week and see the play. It was absolutely outstanding. There was quite a large group of kids participating, and they do a wonderful job, and it's great to see fine arts, the art department, the music department, all three of them come together to collaborate and put together a musical, and it was really a great event.
Ms. Cole.
I agree with everything you said about Hadestown at Trinity. It was fantastic. I also attended the board ambassadors presentation a couple of weeks ago, and I wanted to give a shout out to Dr. Johnson and his EdOps team. They really did a great job of presenting everything to the group and made it a really great learning opportunity. I also wanted to give a shout out to Lydia Martin and Lauren Allen for our Team of 8 training. I thought it was one of the best ones we'd had in several years, so great job planning that. And then I also attended LEAD HEB last week. Both year 1 and year 2 met. I was only able to attend in the morning for year 2, but Deanne Hollander and Cicely Tuttle did a class on leaders having crucial conversations. And it was really, really good. And all the feedback that I've heard since then from the folks that attended was that it was really, really helpful. So great job, everyone.
Mr. Campos.
So there's lots of activities going on this time, from facilities meetings to community performances to board ambassadors and Team of 8. I just want to highlight 2. It's been mentioned before, but you're going to hear and see from our folks wearing the green vest. Right before our Team of 8, I actually snuck across the street and poked my head in to see Dr. Blue and how they're doing. I am just amazed at the ability to speak and how well our student ambassadors are and all the things that they're learning. I'm really jealous. I wish I had learned that when I was in high school. So hats off, good job. And then to quote Trustee Cargile, we're at a time in public ed where other districts are figuring out programs they can cut. And, some kids come to school for sports and some kids come to school for choir. And I happen to have one of those kids that's not real excited. But in round 3, I'm getting to see it through a theater parent perspective. And I have to say, I was blown away with the Hadestown. 35 songs, most amazing vocals I've ever seen. The little put-together jazz band doing the live music in the pit, the art, everything coming together. It was about as professional as you could imagine, and that is happening for our kids in HEB ISD. And maybe not all kids come to school for math and science, but they have their place where they can come in, and I'm very happy that we're able to provide that for us.
Thank you. Dr. Began?
No report.
All right. Let's see, the facilities meeting, Mr. Campos mentioned it real briefly, but I just wanted to thank the ELT for putting that together for us. That's an important meeting that we have once a year where we look at numbers and projections in terms of enrollment and such, so we make sure that we have the facilities that we need to have going forward. So I think that was a successful meeting this year. I also was able to attend the Macy's Parade celebration on Saturday. As everyone knows, LD Bell is on their way to New York. Did you know that, Joe? What? It's pretty exciting. So Yeah, so that's happening, on Thanksgiving Day, of course, but they wanted to throw a celebration for the band at Macy's here in Hurst. So on Sunday, they had the band out in the parking lot, and they played a show out in the parking lot, and they went inside the mall and just blasted everyone out of the mall, which was really awesome. But Macy's really did it well. They had, free snacks for people and free drinks and face painting, and they just made it a real fun day. So again, congratulations to LD Bell, and I'm going to be there, so I can't wait to see y'all. Superintendent comments.
Yeah, the
Dr.
only
Terry.
thing I'll add, you're talking about all the events, and there's just so many. LD Bell did a show this past weekend, also the Best Christmas Pageant, so I was able to see that one also. That was a cute show. I really enjoyed that, get us ready for the season. There was a playoff football game Friday night, so it's pretty exciting times. So Matt mentioned the Macy's, so I went onto my TV to set it so I can get I want to see it, record it. And the only version that would come up is in Spanish. But I figured the songs will be the same. So I'm going to go back and double check one more time, but I set that one to record. I want a version of this, saved.
All right, any clarifications?
None at this time.
Okay. I'd like to say a quick thanks to our greeters this evening. You may have noticed the 4 students in the green blazers as you entered tonight. These students are part of the HEB ISD Student Ambassador Program, which is a select group of students chosen through an application and interview process to be the face of the district. They are trained to assist with public relations and communication services and are given the opportunity to positively promote HEB ISD while developing leadership skills. Tonight we have Jonathan Dell, Pregyan Dahal, Sophia Kaminsky, and I think I'm missing a name, and Harsh Patel. Okay, so the first 3 are all seniors at LD Bell, and Harsh Patel is here also, who is a senior at Trinity. All right. So we have been using this opportunity to hear the voice of our district students by asking the ambassadors a question. This month, we are asking, as seniors looking back on your time at HEB ISD, what's one special event, program, or activity you got to be a part of that really stuck with you? How do you think that experience will shape the way you remember your time in HEB, and how has it influenced the way you're thinking about your future?
Hello, my name is Pregyan Dahal, and I'm a senior at LD Bell High School. And a program in HEB ISD that will stick with me and I really appreciate is the HEB ISD Student Ambassador Program. I've been a part of this program for 2 years now, and I think I've gotten a front row seat watching the events in the district unfold, and I really appreciate that. Lots of skills that I've learned through this program, namely time management is one of them. Like if I'm scheduled to show up at an event at 5:30, I have to show up before 5:30. The earlier the better. And also how to present myself in public, and I think I've really gotten the confidence to do that through this program. In the future, I think all of this would be really useful as I go out to the real world and try to maneuver these situations. I'll remember back to this program and what it has taught me. So thank you, Student Ambassador Program. Thank you, HEB, for that. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Harsh Patel and I'm a senior at Trinity High School. Looking back at my time in this school district, the most memorable program I've been a part of is the International Baccalaureate Diploma Program. The thing that struck me the most about this program is its emphasis on becoming global scholars, through which I've met and become friends with a community of like-minded people. On a larger scale, going through this program has given me the opportunity to learn that educational institutions such as the school district thrive on dynamic learning environments. And when I look back in my school years after this, I realize how the one thing that can truly define this district is its dynamism. Overall, going through this IB program has given me the ability to lay a foundation from which I can jumpstart my future career. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Sophia Kaminsky, and I'm a senior at LD Bell. My junior year, I was lucky enough to be a part of the clinical site program at the Buinger. There I got to shadow a pediatrician and medical assistants at a pediatrician's office, and from that I've learned that I want to be a pediatric nurse.
Good evening. My name is Jonathan Dell, and I'm a senior at LD Bell High School. And I would say the program with the most profound impact on me would have to be the LD Bell Band. Obviously I love performing, seeing success competitions, going to the Macy's Day Parade. But what is truly special to me is being a part of a program that's larger than myself. I think the LD Bell Band is a perfect example of what makes HEBISD so incredible. It's probably the most diverse organization within the entire school. Yet we're all just one super tight-knit family, and it's super cool to see that. Having the opportunity to serve as a leader for that program has been a really special experience that I believe has taught me, how to lead and communicate effectively, manage multiple responsibilities, and support others. All skills that I think will benefit me in the future. And moving forward, I know that I will draw on lessons and experiences I gained through this program, and I know they'll serve me well no matter what situations or challenges come my way. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here tonight. All right, next we're going to pass out certificates of appreciation for donations, and I'll turn it over to Ms. Cole.
Okay, so before I award the certificates, I would like to just say thank you to the community for its continued support in every possible way, but especially in financial support. Tonight's grand total of donations is $6,741.71. So first up is Board Member Becky Ewert. She has a certificate for Textron. It was a $500 donation to Bel Air Elementary to be used to help purchase materials and supplies for the classroom. Erica Martin is here to accept the certificate. Ms. Ewert also has a certificate for Donna Park PTA. This is a $2,995.71 donation to Donna Park Elementary. The donation is being used to help cover transportation costs for the year and to purchase poster printer for the school. And Julie McAvoy is here to accept the certificate. Next up is Board Member Andy Cargile, who has a certificate for One Step Foundation. This is a $1,700 donation to Hurst Junior High. The money is used to purchase a Delta Math license that will help to enhance student learning and to purchase 2 water coolers for faculty and staff use. And Ms. Bianca Johnson is here to accept the certificate. All right, thank you.
All right, next we're ready for our open forum. No cards. All right, so we will be adjourning to closed session. Pursuant to Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551, the board will adjourn into closed session pursuant to Section 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, and 551.076.
Sorry.
Okay, so what's the difference? Okay, so.
Oh, see that.
I think that's the first thing I said. But I remember. Good. Cheers to you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's,
Student information system.
yeah.
But it'll get you there. MG last.
At this time, the board is reconvening into open session. We're ready for our consent agenda. Does any board member have any items they'd like removed from the consent agenda? I will accept a motion.
I move the board approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes.
Yeah, Mr. Romero, just one of the items on the consent was the Enterprise Resource Planning and Student Information System. We have a couple members of that team are here today, and so we just wanted to thank them. Dana and Melissa are here, so thank you all for being here, and thank you for serving on that committee.
Yeah, thank you for that. All right, we are ready for reports and presentations. Are there any questions on disbursements for the month of October? All right, 10.02, employment resignations and retirements. Any questions on that report? All right, 10.03, 2024-2025 district separation and retention data. Ms. Tuttle.
We are excited to be able to share with you the annual report regarding our separations and retentions from the 24-25 school year. And let me just go here. The data sources that you will be hearing from tonight are the separation data that we pull from our e-finance system, our exit survey responses, new hire data, and new hire survey responses. And before I introduce the team members that are going to be sharing this with you, I want to let you know that in our strategic plan, under employee success, our quality indicator 1 is employee engagement and retention. And you know that we have 4 different percentages as our 5-year goals that we would like to attain. 90% for our teachers, non-teaching professionals 90%, paraprofessionals 80%, and auxiliary 80%. We also, as you're aware, have targets annually. So here, under teachers, our annual target for this year is 87.5, and for 24-25, we hit 86%. So not quite there, that's why it's red, but certainly well on its way. And then the target for 90% for our non-teaching professionals, and we are at 88.65%. So again, that's why it is showing as below target. And then for our target for the paraprofessionals, this year's target's 80%, and we're at 81%, which is above our target. And then for our auxiliary staff, this year's target is 76%, and we're at 79.12%, which is a huge celebration. We're very excited about this. And I want to turn it over to 2 of my colleagues who are going to share with you. We have Karen Rose, our Director of Benefits and Risk Management, and Jacqueline Himela, our Coordinator of Human Resources for Data and Systems.
Thank you. Good evening. I have the pleasure of showing you information about the separations for this last school year. So what we do is we take separations from September 1st through August 31st of every year. And on the screen, you can see the last 5 years of history. So this year, if you'll focus on the yellow, that's the separations from the 24-25 school year. and you can see we had a total of 489 separations, which is about in line as last year. And then we have the reasons for the separation. The majority of them are resignations, and then we had 68 retirements last school year. And then we have it broken down for you by school year, and then this is elementary, professional, and paraprofessional staff. You can see last year we had a total of 197 staff members resign at the elementary level. The blue will be the professional staff, and then the reddish color is the paraprofessional staff. We also have it broken down by secondary. You can see the secondary separations, and last school year it's a total of 131 separations. We have the administration building, Pat May Center, and support staff. You can see last school year we had 27 separations. And then auxiliary. In the far right-hand column, you can see we had 2 warehouse, we had 35 transportation, 56 maintenance, and then 35 CNS. So that's a total of 228 auxiliary staff separations, which is lower than the last several years, which is a great celebration. And then we have the reason for leaving HEB. So keep in mind, these reasons are what they listed on their HEB resignation form. And so here you have it broken out. This is the elementary professional staff and what the reasons they say they left HEB. And the number 1 reason is position in education. So it could be moving to another district, or it could be a promotion to another district. And then number 2, we had moving or a spouse being transferred. Yes, sir.
Karen, this is great data. I'm just curious, on this particular slide, do they get the opportunity to answer one, or can they pick more than one?
This is actually what they wrote on their resignation form, and so we just take whatever they wrote and put it into categories.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. But whatever they wrote, we choose one option. We have the secondary professional staff. Number 1 reason was position in education, and then number 2, they left for personal reasons or seeking other opportunities. And then years of service in HEB. So this shows you the number of years the employee worked for HEB before they left our district. And this is teachers only. So this doesn't take into consideration the years they brought with them. So last year, we had in yellow 0-year teachers left. There were 15. That means they didn't complete the year. They started late and left at the end of the year, or they started early and left mid-year. So we had a total of 15. And then after 1 year, we had a total of 38. Both of these are huge celebrations compared to last year. Last year, we had 78 teachers leave after their 1 year with us. So we have this broken down, the same information, but this shows you the elementary teachers. And you can see we had 8 0-year, and 4 of those 8 employees left due to health reasons, which is understandable. And then 26 left after 1 year. The majority of them, 12 of those, were to go to another district, and then 5 of those were moving or the spouse was transferred. And then the secondary teachers, the 0-year, there were 7, all different reasons. There's nothing that stood out as to why they left. There's no common theme. And then after 1 year, there were 6 teachers that left for a position in education. And now I'll turn it over to Jacqueline.
Good evening, and thank you so much for having us here tonight. As Karen mentioned, I will be going through the exit survey responses, which is a little bit different than what they may have, resignees may have put on their resignation form to HEB. These surveys we send out to every resignee in HEB, and we had the same, about the same response rate, about 56%. We sent 450 exit surveys. We had about 253 respond. And of these resignees, 35% of them were elementary teachers, 20% were paraprofessionals, and 17% were secondary teachers that completed this survey. 8% of transportation, 6% of CNS, and 2% of custodial and maintenance services. And before we continue on to discuss the primary reasons for why they completed or why they left HEB, we did want to put this slide in here. This is UEA data, and it's actually from the year previous, so 23-24, which is a couple years behind, but they have not released their 24-25 data yet. So we'll look at that in December when it comes out. But we just wanted to show you that HEB in yellow has a 15.9 turnover rate, which is significantly lower than a lot of other districts in the Metroplex. So as we look through this data, we can keep this in perspective as well.
I want to point out that
Sure thing.
districts that are lower than us are substantially smaller than us.
They are. Yes, ma'am.
We're the lowest of the big districts.
So the primary reason that resignees said that they left HEB on their exit survey was 22% was for retirement, 15% had job concerns, which could be that they did not like their position, their schedule, maybe their environment, maybe they were looking for different opportunities in general. 15% or 14% moved out of the area completely. So then we broke this down. The primary reason for elementary teachers, nurses, and librarians were leaving. 20% had job concerns, and then tied at second and third, 19% were retiring or moving. Our secondary teachers look a little bit different. 31% of them retired, and then 17% had a job outside of education, or 15% with career advancement. Next, we have our paraprofessionals, which include CHTs and CTAs. 25% of them retired, and then we had 16% both were looking for career advancement or had job concerns. For our maintenance and operations, we had two in a variety of different reasons for retirement, for health, for job concerns, or for career advancement. CNS, they mainly left 5 for retiring and 4 for health. Transportation, number one and two reason was health and moving, combined for 8 employees total, and then number 3 left for job concerns. Then we were able to ask all staff, what were the factors that led to their decision to leave HEB? 15% said because of their family, 12% because of the location or moving, and then 11% for personal reasons or retirement. We did ask those that were leaving to go specifically to another district, where were they headed? And as usual, Bergville was the winner. It is close in location. We had 10 staff leave, but we did dig into the data a little bit more because we are nerds like that. And we saw that we did gain 12 professionals from Bergville. So all that to say, just... Next in line was Eagle Mountain, Saginaw, Grapevine, Colleyville, and then outside of North Texas, all had 7. And then we also added 2 new categories. Louisville had 3, and then there was 3 people that left for remote or online options, so we thought that was significant enough to include in our research. We asked all staff if they were leaving for HEB for another district, why? 16% said that it was due to a lack of support, training, or resources. 14% wanted to work closer to home, and 13% had job concerns. We also asked, would they recommend, all staff, would you recommend HEB ISD to friends and families a place to work? And about 83% said yes. The 17% that reported no, we asked, why would you not recommend it here? 8 respondents said due to the principal, supervisor, or campus department culture, which is down from last year, and then also because of a lack of support or salary was the next in line.
So that was 83% of the people who left?
The 17% of people who said they would not recommend HEB.
Okay, but these are all people who left. It's not the entire staff.
Yes.
No, right. Just who was speaking.
And reply.
Yes. Then we asked all staff, what did you like least about HEB? And this was an open-ended question. 21 said salary and benefits. 17 said discipline and behavior. 16 said administrator or supervisor. And then 14 said job requirements. We asked, what could we have done to retain you? And higher salary had 42 respondents. We did, again, dig deeper into that data to see that it was mixed. It was a mixed bag between professionals, paraprofessionals, and auxiliary. It was not significantly one or the other. Number 2 was providing more support with 15 respondents. And then number 3 was more opportunities to advance. So in addition to where we can improve, we also asked what's the best thing about working in HEB ISD. And by far, from a long shot, you can see year after year, it is the staff and coworkers that they have. That had 70 respondents this year. HEB's focus on kids had 54 respondents.
That's a huge jump.
Huge. Students, 46, and support and opportunities given was 33. So great things. All right, now we're going to change gears and discuss new hires. So with all new hires starting July 1 through August 31st, we are able to send them a new hire survey to gather this data for this presentation. We had 325 new hires, 206 responded, which is about 63%. The majority of the new hires that responded were 38% elementary teachers, 22% secondary, and 25% paraprofessional. We asked them what was the main reason for selecting HEB ISD. 19% said the district reputation, 16% was the location, and then 12% was tied with you had the job opening I needed, and I was a former student, which is pretty incredible. How many years of school district experience does professional staff have? 18% had 0 years, and then we had 13% and 11% at 6 to 10 years and 11 to 15 respectively. How many years of experience do our paraprofessional and technical staff have? 14% have 0 years, and then 2 to 3% thereafter. Our next slides are all rated on a scale of 4.0. And even though there are slight decreases overall, you can see that the following survey results still provide quality scores, which help us with our district reputation and some of the reasons they come to HEB. This first one is the campus department administrator reflecting a positive image on HEB. Next, we have the new hires' overall experience with their principal and supervisor, how they felt welcomed on the first day, willingness to coach and mentor. How much time did your principal or supervisor spend with you on the first day on campus? This always blows my mind. 26% had over 2 hours. 24% had 1 to 2 hours of the time, and 17% had over an hour, totaling about 2/3 of at least an hour for all of our new hires. Back to the overall scoring out of 4.0. This was the first interactions with the Human Resources Department. And then next, our new hire meeting, which HR verifies documents and technology provides the district device and digital logins. Most new hires still feel like they were properly trained and had provided necessary resources to complete their jobs. And the present level of satisfaction with HEB after 30 to 45 days is a 96% satisfaction rate. We do provide a stay interview questions also second semester, which we gather data on as well. So we'll ask new hires similar questions second semester. This was another open-ended question. What was one thing that would have made your first 30 days with HEB ISD a more positive experience? 21% said that they could have done with a little bit less overall district training and more focused on campus training. So it kind of goes hand in hand. 21% wanted less of the district overall, but 17% for 2 and 3 reasons number 2 and 3. They wanted clearer expectations with campus procedures, guidelines, practices, best practices with students, which we are looking into. It's great feedback. And then now that you have been here 30 days, how long do you anticipate being employed with HEB? 45% want to retire here. 31% want at least 5 years, which means we have a lot of people with us for a while. Thank you so much.
Do you all have any questions?
Any questions?
All right, I want to thank
So-
Karen and Jacqueline for providing this data.
Question for me. I was just wondering about the retirement data. It almost seems like when we're trying to hit a certain goal, that the retirees, I mean, that's like not a negative separation.
That's correct.
So-
We consider, what we look at is which things are in our sphere of influence. What can we control? So when you heard Karen and Jacqueline mentioning health or spouse moving out of town, retirement, those are all things that we don't have control over. We don't get to determine when, what month, what date someone retires. So you are correct. We don't consider that to be negative data or data that we have any control over.
Okay.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you. All right, 10.04, bilingual and ESL annual program evaluation for 2024-2025. Ms. Butler.
All right, well, good evening. This is a 24-25 bilingual ESL annual program evaluation. It is aligned to the strategic plan, district priority, student success, quality indicator 3, which states federal and state accountability. Every year, I must conduct an annual program evaluation, and it must be reported to the board, and these are the topics that it must include. Here's a list of terms that are included in the presentation tonight. So I'll start first with going over the bilingual programs and ESL programs that we have here at HEB. The first one is a one-way dual language program, which is currently in K through 2. The goals are for students to become bilingual, biliterate, have grade level academic achievement in 2 languages, and sociocultural competence. That's where they can go into both, in and out of both cultures seamlessly. The instruction is an 80-20, so at the beginning, the inception of the program, we do 80% in Spanish, 20% in English, and then we move to a 50-50 in 3rd grade, and we will maintain that 50-50 all the way through elementary. Literacy and content is taught in both languages, and then we also implement cross-linguistic connections. These are very important. We are teaching content and we are teaching language, and we don't get to keep the kids longer, and so we have to implement some various strategies to make sure that the content is able to transfer into both languages. All of our teachers are bilingual certified, and then they will remain in the program. Students will remain in the program even after they meet reclassification criteria. We also have late exit bilingual in grades 3 through 5. The goal here is proficiency in English. Their literacy and academic content is in both languages. Teachers are certified also in bilingual education, and then our students can begin exit in 4th grade. Now, our one-way dual language program is going to move up in grade levels, and it will replace the late exit bilingual program. So next year, the one-way will say K through 3rd, late exit will say 4th through 5th. These 2 programs are available for our Spanish speakers, and then we have the ESL program is available for other speakers of other languages. The goal here is also to attain full proficiency in English. The English instruction is given in all content areas. Here at HEB, all elementary teachers must be ESL certified, and secondary, only the ELA or reading teacher needs to hold the ESL certification. And then we're able to provide this in a pull-out or inclusionary delivery model. And our students can exit the ESL program in 1st grade. Here you'll see how our EB numbers have increased in the last 9 years. Our race ethnicity report, our Hispanic population is the largest population, followed by the white, and then two other populations that are increasing are also the Black and the Asian population. All right, now we'll look at the academic progress of our emergent bilingual students. We'll start off with the dual language performance. So here you'll see our three grade levels that have dual language. The top row is your lectura, which is the assessment for Spanish foundational skills, and the second row is DIBELS, which is your assessment for English foundational skills. What this data is showing us is that our students they are keeping their Spanish as they are adding English, which is exactly what we want them to do. But also those cross-linguistic connections I talked about earlier, we see that is evident because in kinder, you'll see that the instruction is 80% in Spanish, 20% in English, yet 41% of our EB or of our dual language students are scoring at benchmark or above. And so that tells us that that transfer is happening. In first grade, we have a 70-30, and in second grade, we have a 60-40. Next year, we'll have the DIBELS data as second grade just started with the dual language program. Here's our STAR ESL elementary scores at the approaches level. We did see some increases in some areas. We also saw some decreases. I will say that the decreases did mirror the monolingual drops as well. Here's STAR ESL at the secondary level at approaches. And then here's our EOC ESL approaches. One thing I did want to bring up, and that is not in this presentation because this presentation is for 24-25, but in 23-24, we exited 748 EB students. We exited the advanced high kids. So when you take those students out of that bucket, what you're left with are students with lower English proficiency. So you are going to see that reflected in the data. Here's our STAR bilingual Spanish course at the MEETS levels. We did see some nice improvements here. We did align the Spanish curriculum to the English curriculum, and so that facilitates the teacher's ability to plan with their peers. And now the academic progress of reclassified students. So these are students who have met exit criteria. The exit criteria is pretty rigorous, and so you'll see that after they meet it, they do very well because language is no longer an issue. And so here's the STAR elementary scores at MEETS. And here's the STAR secondary scores at MEETS also. Very nice increases. And then EOC. All right, English proficiency among emergent bilinguals. This is assessed through the TELPAS, which is for all EB students in K through 12. It meets the federal requirements of the ESSA. It assesses the English language proficiency standards, and it assesses the listening, speaking, reading, and writing domains, and so each domain contributes to 25% of the composite score. We have TELPAS alternate for those students who are EBs and have severe cognitive disabilities. This is for students in grades 2nd through 12. If our students are taking the STAR alt, they're also taking TELPAS alt, and these all domains are holistically rated using observable behaviors. For students who are taking TELPAS in grades K and 1, the teacher is holistically rating each of the 4 domains. Each domain is given a proficiency level of beginning, intermediate, advanced, or advanced high, and the results really indicate how well the students understand and use English in academic instruction. For grades 2nd through 12, they are now testing online. All 4 domains are online. Listening and speaking are bundled together. Reading and writing are bundled together. Once again, proficiency levels are reported for each domain. It lets us know how well students understand and use the English academic language. And then for grades 2nd through 12, the speaking and the writing, the output is rated by TEA. It's no longer holistically rated by the teacher. Here's the TELPAS results at advanced high elementary. Like I said, kinder and first, holistically rated by the teacher, and then in second grade, it's rated by TEA. Also in second grade, this is the first time that our kiddos are testing online. They've never taken an online test. And their typing skills are not there yet, and so they have to type. Typing instruction does not begin until 3rd grade. So just some points to keep into consideration. And here are TELPAS results at the advanced high for secondary. Once again, keeping in mind that we exited 748 advanced high students a year prior. All Our results-driven accountability report, we did score mostly zeros and ones. We did have a 2 under 8th grade social studies. We do have some plans put in place to address that too. Accountability for our students. So we have the English language proficiency score. This takes into consideration TELPAS and TELPAS Alt. It compares how the students did from one year to the prior year. The expectation is for the students to advance, or if they already scored advanced high, they have to remain at that advanced high. And so you'll see, and this is in 2 of the 4 domains. You'll see the targets are based on school types. So elementary, the target was 49, junior high 44, high school 34. Our 2025 district ELP rate was 54, so we met the targets and we surpassed it. Our students who are in their first year of enrollment in U.S. schools are not included in accountability. We have very few asylees and refugees. They are exempt from taking the test. If they are in their second year of enrollment in U.S. schools, they are included in accountability. Those parent denials, those parents who have denied ESL services or bilingual services are included in the same manner as every other student. And then your STAR Alt 2 assessment results are included regardless of the number of years in U.S. schools. So now we'll look at reclassified emergent bilinguals. ESL students can start in first grade to exit. Bilingual students, due to our late exit transitional program, begin in 4th grade. Once they exit, we monitor them for 4 years, 2 years with scores, 2 years in PEAMS. And then in order to meet reclassification criteria, students have to be successful on the STAR Reading Language Arts test. If they are in a grade level that doesn't take stars, such as 1st, 2nd, 11th, or 12th, they have to take a norm reference test and score in the 40th percentile. They also have to score advanced high on the composite score in TELPAS and then have a positive teacher evaluation. So as you can see, it is pretty rigorous to meet exit criteria. We were able to exit 570 students last year. It's about 10% of the EB population. So overall, in the last 2 years, we've exited over 1,300 kiddos. So professional development, how are we supporting our teachers? Here you see some sessions that we offer all teachers. We want to make sure that they understand how to work with newcomers. What are those best practices? How to incorporate content-based language instruction. For our bilingual and dual language teachers, we want to ensure that they understand how to implement the new program, how to use the biliteracy unit framework. Teaching English phonics, which is kind of difficult for some of our bilingual teachers. We also want to make sure to look at the data. What is your data telling you? How are you progress monitoring your students? And then for our language acquisition coaches and ESL teachers, we pull them out several times during the year. It's about 8 or 9 times. Half of the time is focusing on coaching. The other half is focusing on content. And overall, we trained about 160 teachers last year, and we trained all 3 of our ESL aides. Bilingual exceptions and ESL waivers. So when we have 20 or more EB students that speak the same language in the same grade level, we are supposed to provide bilingual education, which we do for Spanish. But we also have enough students that speak Arabic, French, and Nepali to make a bilingual program. Well, unfortunately, trying to find certified teachers and resources and writing the curriculum can become a little bit more difficult. So we have to file a bilingual exception for those teachers. So last year we filed 80 classroom teacher exceptions, 0 obtained bilingual certification, but please keep in mind that there is no specific bilingual certification available for these teachers. These are the teachers who are teaching those students who speak other languages other than Spanish. And then for ESL, we had 31 ESL waivers. 11 of them obtained their ESL certification, but some of these are also working on their core, so we give them that whole year to get their core certification and then add on their ESL. So when the teachers are not certified, then we have to report what alternative methods we are using. And these alternative methods are used to meet the effective linguistic and cognitive needs of our EB students. We have to be able to equip our teacher, and they must align closely to the programs that we are currently implementing. So hence the Comprehensive Professional Development Plan. Region 11, TEA through Region 11, they provide some free online modules for both ESL and bilingual. So we ask the teachers to take advantage of that. And then we also offer face-to-face sessions to get the teachers ready to take the test. We also provide them with content-based language instruction. And then on top of that, we make sure that we pair them up with a coach, either a language acquisition coach on their campus or somebody from the department of facilitator, and they plan with them biweekly. They coach them, they plan with them, maybe model some strategies for them, whatever it is that they may need while they're getting their certification. That is it. Do I have any questions?
All right. Thank you. Any questions?
All right. Thank you.
Very comprehensive report.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Butler. 10.05, revisions to CQ regulation technology resources. Ms. Tuttle.
So it's important that as technology changes, that we make sure that our policies reflect the technology challenges that we're facing. And so in CQ regulation, we have added a section that is titled Use of Technology Resources, and we have actually addressed the unauthorized recording, either by audio or video, using any technology devices, and that is for employees and students. And I correct myself, it's general use of electronic devices is what we've added. And that's the only change to this regulation. Are there any questions?
Any questions on this regulation? All right, revisions to EFB regulation exhibit, instructional resources, library materials.
So these revisions have been made to better align with Senate Bill 13. You'll notice on the first several pages, lots of changing will to shall, or shall to will, rather, and that's just a policy clarification that our consultant makes. But what you'll also notice is a large segment of information that's been omitted, and that is because as we were reviewing this to better align it with Senate Bill 13, we actually discovered that there was a large segment of the policy that's duplicated in local and reg. So that helped TASB to make some corrections in their model, and we are removing that. And then the other information you see is very self-explanatory and does deal with Senate Bill 13. Are there any questions?
Any questions on this regulation? All right, thank you, Cicely. We are ready for action items. No items are removed from the consent agenda. 11.02, consider approval of update to the 2025-2026 staffing table, new units.
All right, so we are coming to you this evening requesting 2 units out of bond funding, and one of those is a senior project manager and one of those is a project manager. And then we are requesting instructionally in our special education department 3 additional teacher assistants for SPED, one at Meadow Creek, one at Trinity Lakes, and one at Wilshire. And then we're requesting 2 additional teachers, one at Meadow Creek and one at Wilshire, to respond to some of the concerns you've recently heard about.
All right, any questions on these units? I'll accept a motion.
I move the board approve the new units for the 2025-2026 staffing table as submitted.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the new units in the 2025-2026 staffing table as submitted. Please vote. That motion passes. 11.03, consider approval of canvass of voter approval tax rate election November 4th, 2025. Mr. Williams.
Good evening, Board. Yes, sir, as you have before you, as you know, we had a Vader election, a successful Vader election, and we want to thank all the people that voted and voted in favor of that. Also want to thank all the people that put in a lot of hard work to get that done. This is the next and final step in this process. The board has to canvass these votes. You've got 2 reports that were presented to you. One is a summary report that indicates the number of passing votes, which was 9715 in favor, 9285 against, and then there were 449 under votes. And then in addition to that report, there are precinct reports that tells how the voting went by precinct. And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right, are there any questions on any of these these reports? I will accept a motion.
I move the board approve the certificate of order canvassing election returns for the voter approval tax rate election held in the district on November the 4th, 2025, as presented.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the certificate for order canvassing election returns of the voter-approved tax rate election held in the district on November 4th, 2025, as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes. 11.04, consider approval of Moak KC Texas Connection Memorandum of Understanding.
Okay, the next item I have for you to consider is the approval of this Memorandum of Understanding, or MOU as we like to call them, with Moak KC Connect. A representative from their company did contact us about the possibility of entering into an agreement with the district to look into digital advertising platforms for the district. The main thing they're really interested in, and this would be a partnership between the district and them. But the main thing I want to say up front, though, is this memorandum of understanding does not obligate us to anything at this time, does not cost us anything. This is just basically a document where we state our intentions, they state their intentions, and then they're going to go to work and do all the legwork, because there will be a lot of hoops to jump through. If it's feasible, state, cities, county, North Texas Expressway people, the whole 9 yards. But their main thing they're wanting to look at is digital signs, like you see different places up and down the freeways, which, based on their numbers, could generate a significant amount of revenue for the district. And in our current state, where the state is not funding us as much as we would like, we are looking for any and all sources. But if we do move forward, at some point we will have to enter into a formal agreement with them, and when we do, we will thoroughly vet that agreement. The board will have the opportunity to make that decision at that time.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I would like to know, after if we enter into this agreement and, they move forward with doing their diligence to find out what's next, I'd also like to know what other districts that they are engaged with, and, how long has that been going on, and do they have any historical data to show us for those other districts that they may have
Great
worked
questions.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? I'll accept a motion.
I move that the board approve the Moak KC Texas Connect Memorandum of Understanding as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the Moak KC Texas Connection Memorandum of Understanding as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes. Consider approval of international student travel. Ms. Rhodes?
Good evening. I ask that the board consider approving international student travel for 4 of our junior highs participating in the French exchange program to France this summer.
All right. Are there any questions besides can I go?
All right.
I'm going to say no unless I get to go. That's right.
All right. I'll accept a motion.
I move the board approve the international student travel as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the international student travel as presented. Please vote. And that motion passes. 11.06, consider approval of library books purchases. Ms. Elledge.
Good evening. I'm here to ask for you to consider approving the library book purchases that we put on the website for the required 30 days. We had zero comments from anyone on the board as well as from anyone that had the opportunity to give public feedback. So we feel pretty confident about that and would like to be able to move forward.
All right, any questions?
Any questions?
I will accept the motion.
I move the board approve the library books purchased as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second for the board to approve the library books purchases as presented. Please vote. All right, go buy those books.
Thank you.
We're ready for other business. Opportunity for board members to request items be placed on future board agendas. Anybody have anything this evening? All right, 12.02, Board Goal Team 1 update, review HEB school board operating procedures. I guess it's all on you, Julie.
Yeah, half of Goal Team 1 is here to report on this. I will say that we met multiple times to, really go through this with a fine-tooth comb, and some of the changes are because, there are some new requirements, such as having one public comment instead of two, and those kinds of things. Some of it was just, grammar cleanup. But I did want to point out a couple of things. We made a change. We made the changes that we discussed at our Team of 8 training for the superintendent's evaluation. And so if anybody had any questions about that, this would be a good time. But it's all in there, which we couldn't remember fully that night. So, and the other thing that we did was, the other thing I wanted to point out was we made some changes to the board-sponsored events because some of them were no longer relevant. Of course, we have, wait, that's not the one that's no longer relevant. Sorry, give me a minute. Well, no, I don't know where it is, but we used to have, and the numbering on this is weird, so.
Memberships.
Memberships, yes. Where is that?
It's page numbers here.
Yeah, no page numbers.
It's board operating.
Oh, here it is. Yeah. Memberships. So we added the MASBA, Mexican American School Board Association. We still need to, if someone wants to join that, we can still do that, but we've added it here so that that ability is there. That's not really what I was thinking about, though. Oh, here it is. So under board member representation and community functions, that's the one I was trying to go to. So we left everything pretty much the same for the Education Foundation, but we removed the North Central Texas Council of Governments because that's not something we've participated in. And for some reason, we had Tarrant Appraisal District on here, which we never had a representative on. Ironically, we do now, but that's a completely separate sort of situation. So we took that off of here. And
Julie, the economic development is crossed out also.
yes, we also took out the economic development board. Yes, because we don't have someone sitting on that board, right?
But I'm on there, but Matt sits on it.
Matt goes as an
observer.
as a guest. We
Oh.
actually.
But you're not.
Yeah, we actually researched this a little bit. You're the member. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was going to
That's
ask.
why we took it out of there. Yeah. Yeah. And then at the end, in Addendum A, we made some fairly significant changes to the board activity chart of things that we're going to include and not include in the board activity chart. So, does anyone have any questions about the changes? The next thing, the other thing I wanted to point out was about the Board Ambassador Academy. The board operating procedures for probably the last 10 years have read Board Ambassador Academy / Board Leadership, because there was a time when we were pausing the Board Ambassador Academy in certain years to do a more intense, smaller group board leadership. But after much conversation on the committee, it was decided to remove the board leadership more intense part and move that into the new board member onboarding. And so that's our next task as a goal team, is to work on the new board member onboarding and ensure that all of that is now in that. Questions? Okay.
Any questions? Yeah, I was able to sit in a couple meetings, and these two are very focused and intense, and they got a lot of work done. So thank you, Julie and Chris. Yeah, it's a lot of work. And it's not an action item at this time, right? It's just a discussion item? Okay. So we do not need another closed session? No, sir. And I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We're adjourned.
Your first